Hi Cleveland, I'm Kerry Howard, Chief Director of Cleveland's Department of Public Safety, and today we're going to have a conversation with Cleveland EMS Commissioner Nicole Carlton. We're going to be discussing a topic that's getting ground in the media. Recently, EMS increased its rates for services provided to the city, and we're going to get some answers behind that from Commissioner Carlton. Commissioner, like I said, recently EMS increased its rates for services to the citizens of Cleveland. What went into the decision to raise these rates?
Well, the Division of EMS, we have not increased our ambulance fees for service in just about 2 decades, about 20 years. We have not increased the fees.
Okay.
So in reviewing at the ever-changing landscape and adapting to the cost of providing pre-hospital care in the city of Cleveland, we started to review the services and what we are charging for them and what we can get reimbursed through the Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurance companies.
Okay. Did this happen overnight, or was there some discussion leading up to this?
There's been a long discussion, literally going back a few years, that we've started to look at what the other cities are charging and what we could be charging, what we're getting reimbursed for in our fees. And it was determined that in some cases we were underbilling for the services that we were providing for ambulance service.
Okay. So the process of raising these rates, who has the authority to increase the EMS rates?
Back in 2010, there was codified ordinance that went through the legislative process that the Commissioner of EMS at that point was determined and passed by Council that the Commissioner of EMS could set the rates for ambulance services. And it's the rates of basic life support, advanced life support 1, advanced life support 2, as well as mileage. We bill for the mileage of transporting from the scene to the closest hospital.
Okay. So when you say went through the legislative process, that means that it went through safety committee, went through council, it was voted on, and at the end of that process, the authority was given to the Commissioner of EMS.
That is correct.
Okay. So how do these new rates, how do they compare to the rates of other cities and urban centers?
We were underbilling, and we were lower than most urban settings that we did the research on. So what we do know for a fact is we were underbilling for Medicare. So recouping the cost for services of what we provide was very important to the administration to make sure that we are recovering what we can bill for.
Okay, and that raises a good point. How is the city reimbursed?
We are reimbursed through Medicaid, Medicare, as well as private insurance companies. The bulk of the revenue comes from private insurance companies, and that's where we determine that we'll see the most significant impact of increasing the fees for service.
Okay, so what does this mean for the average citizen, and what does it mean for a citizen who may be having financial struggles?
There is for Medicaid, anybody that's covered under Medicaid, the city accepts what the reimbursement is for Medicaid, and no additional fees can be charged to that individual. For Medicare, there may be a slight increase in the copay for our Medicare recipients, but we want them to understand that the city does have a federal poverty guideline program that if they fall within those guidelines, that there is basically the program allows for either lower costs for the reimbursement or a program so they can spread the fees out.
Okay, so what percentage of Cleveland citizens will this affect?
Actually, it's anybody who is transported by the Division of EMS to the hospital. Okay. Just in case the citizens aren't aware, where we arrive on scene and do not transport somebody, there is only one instance where we will charge fees for service, and that is if it's somebody who's in cardiac arrest, and we provide a lot of care and pronounce that person on the scene. But it's anybody that uses the EMS service, they may see an impact, excluding the Medicaid, where the city accepts those fees, the reimbursement that we get for those charges.
Okay. And when did these new rates, when did they go into effect?
July 1st was the effective date, so any services provided on or after July 1st, they will see the increase in rates.
Okay. Okay. Is there any other information that you think that you feel that the citizens that Cleveland needs to know?
You know, we want everybody to understand the importance of emergency response, and that determining what you may or may not be billed by the city of Cleveland is not what we want you to determine as far as the necessity of calling for help. It's important, and we want the message to be clear that if you have a medical emergency and are in need of life-saving interventions, that you continue to call the Division of EMS, call 911 for medical service. We don't want this to impact anybody's care that they get or impact their life by not calling for service. That's really important to us and this administration.
Okay, thank you for that. Bottom line is that will EMS still provide service? Do you still want, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that if a citizen is concerned about the cost, right, should that deter them from calling?
That should not deter them. A medical emergency is critical, and it could mean the difference between life and death, and we want people to call for service. There are other programs that can help and assist that individual in paying back if there's a bill remaining after their insurance pays for it, but we want them to get the help that they need and to not neglect their medical care or their life.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Carlton, how does billing work?
The Division of EMS, we respond to 911 medical emergencies in the city of Cleveland. The paramedics complete the documentation in their tablets. You've probably seen them on the calls. And the information gets electronically sent over to the EMS billers.
Okay.
EMS billers work for the Department of Finance and the Division of Assessment and Licenses. So there's two separate areas. There's EMS billing, which is totally separate from the providers, which is the Division of EMS.
All right. If you have suffering from a medical emergency, don't hesitate to call 911. Our Cleveland Division of EMS will be there to provide services on scene and to transport you if necessary. So with that, I want to thank everyone. Thank you, Commissioner, for speaking with us. We do appreciate it. Have a great day, Cleveland.
Thank you.